Hello everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Today we're going to make some cinnamon rolls. Oh my gosh. This only makes a few, so I think you're pretty safe that you won't overeat. This makes about 10 to 12 rolls. We'll see what we get. But I love cinnamon rolls, and this is an easy recipe, so I think you'll like it. So for the dough, we're going to need 2 3/4 cups all-purpose flour, spooned and leveled, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cups of whole milk, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 2 1/4 teaspoons of platinum yeast from Red Star or any instant yeast. That's up to you. I am using Red Star instant yeast today. And 1 large egg at room temperature, and that's all we're going to need for the dough. So let's get started. What you're going to want to do is whisk the flour, sugar, and salt together in a large bowl and set aside. Let's go ahead and set that aside. Let's go ahead and combine the 3 tablespoons of butter with the 3/4 cup of whole milk, and we're going to warm that up in the microwave till it gets to about 110 degrees. So I'm going to do it in 20-second intervals. I'll heat it for 20 seconds, then stir. The milk heated up faster than the butter did, so I stirred it around and tried to melt the butter. This is actually hotter than 110 degrees. So I'm going to let that cool just a little bit and try to melt my butter a little bit more before we add the yeast. I don't want to overheat my yeast, else I'll kill it. Okay, it's still at about 115. Let's get the rest of that butter melted in there. Okay, let's go ahead and add our yeast. It's 1 packet. And pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And your egg. Let's start mixing that around. See how simple this is? And I'm going to knead this dough for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to have a little flour here. Let's just start kneading it. I think mine's going to need just a little bit more. Okay, what I'm going to do is grease a bowl. Let's go ahead, put this in there. Let's cover it up with a towel, and we'll let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. We can go ahead and start making the filling. I'm just going to go ahead and mix together my cinnamon and brown sugar. You'll want your butter to be really softened because we're going to spread that on top of the dough. So for the filling, you'll need 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, extra soft, 1/3 cup of packed light or dark brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. I don't know, do you think that'll be enough goodies for inside of these? Time will tell. I'm going to pack it really good. Kind of break that up. Get a tablespoon of cinnamon. Okay, let's mix that together. Okay, I'm going to let this sit and wait for my rolls to rise just a wee bit. Okay, it's probably been about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little powder here. We're going to want to roll this out into about an 8 by 14 inch. So I'm going to kind of make it like this. See what we get. Got my handy dandy tape measure here. Let's powder this. Let's start rolling it out. Well, tell you what, that's about 8 inches wide and almost 14 inches long. 1 more inch ought to do it. So next, let's spread the butter on top. Make sure it's really softened. Not melted, but softened. It's like a lot of butter. Oh my Lord. Do we need 3 tablespoons? I mean, my gosh, did I overdo it? Next, sprinkle the cinnamon sugar combo on top. And this is a lot of sugar. Oh my gosh. These are going to be high in calorie, folks. High in calories. Okay, then we're going to want to make a 14-inch log. So let's roll it long way. Pat the sugar down. Okay, we have a log, folks. We have a log. I'm going to cut off the ends. Let's cut these into 10 to 12 pieces. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm going to get about 10. So I'm going to do it like that. There you go. Yep, I think a round pie plate will work better. What you want to do is cover that with a towel and let it rise for about 60 to 90 minutes. Off to the oven it goes for about 24 to 27 minutes. If it starts to get too dark, you can put a loose foil tent over. I let mine rise for about an hour and a half. So see you shortly. Let's go ahead and make the cream cheese icing. In a medium bowl, we're going to beat the cream cheese on high until smooth and creamy. Remember, that's supposed to be at room temperature, even though my room temperature is kind of chilly. There we go, good enough. Let's add the butter, and that's supposed to be softened too. We'll beat that now a little bit. All right, next let's go ahead and add the powdered sugar and the vanilla, and now let's beat it again. Start on slow, else the powdered sugar is going to fly everywhere. Mine took about 24 minutes, and they are about 195. So right away, let's put it on a wire rack. Let's put the frosting on. Now you can serve it immediately. We're here in a little bit, it's up to you. Go ahead and smear that all over it. Now, you can store this on the counter for 2 days, in the fridge for up to 5, and in the freezer for 2 to 3 months. There again, I've never made these before, so I'm just relying on the recipe. But I'll probably store mine in the fridge so they last a little bit longer, and I may freeze a few too. My parents are in Florida right now, so I can't take any to them. You know, it's like 19 degrees here today. In Florida, I think it's like 70. Poor mom and dad. Poor mom and dad having to suffer with 70 degrees. Okay. So Doug and I will try these here in a little bit. All right, Mr. Miller, are you ready for your cinnamon roll?
Got my fork in hand.
I think I'm going to eat my dinner first, and then I started where I'm not going to eat after 6 p.m. So, we'll see. I did. I really did. I decided to do that. It's 10 till 5. So I'm going to eat my dinner. Then I'll show you what I think, because at 6 o'clock, at 5:59, I will just shove that whole thing in my mouth. That way, I won't eat the rest of the evening.
Right.
Yeah, I promise you, Doug. I really do.
I'll give you a report.
Okay. And what would you rate that scale of 1 to 10?
9.5.
9.5. All right. Okay, I'll be back to give you my opinion. See you shortly. It is now 5 till 6. This is the last piece of food that I can enjoy for the evening. After 6 o'clock, no more except for water. So, should I take the biggest cinnamon roll or the smallest or somewhere in between? Well, you know what? I think I'm going to take a pretty good size cinnamon roll. This one's pretty good size, don't you think? Excellent. I think you'll love it. So, thanks for joining me here once again on Dee's Delights, and I'll see you real soon. Have a great day, everyone.